if I'm Dennis Allen and I'm the
Yeah.
coach, there's no way Jameis Winston is in that locker room next season.
You know, there's a lot of factors that cause you to not be successful, and as we watch this touchdown.
Oh, and Arthur Smith's hot. That Dennis Allen scored a touchdown at the end. He is hot. He said, "What are you doing?" And he's going at Dennis Allen. I understand that. You can read his lips, and you know.
Okay, so that was a play that caused a heated moment after the Falcons-Saints game where Arthur Smith just laid it to Dennis Allen in the middle of the field. And what makes this a bit different was that the Saints were actually in victory formation, basically meaning that they weren't going to run a real play. And Shannon Sharpe, after the game, immediately went on Nightcap with Chad Johnson and went off on Jameis Winston for going rogue on that scoring drive. Okay, initially for me, when I saw what happened and saw Jameis' interview, I couldn't help but laugh at the situation. He gets some of the best sound bites in the league, and just some of the things he was saying during that interview, I couldn't help but chuckle. But after I saw Shannon's take, the more I thought about it, I think he was completely right in what he said. I'm going to play you a brief snippet of that Jameis Winston interview so you can get an idea of why Shannon went off, and then transition to his Nightcap take with Chad Johnson.
But I also explained to DA that it was a team decision, and I think when you have a team morale, and I asked the guys, I said, guys, like, what do you want to do? We know how much Jamal means to this team, and I understood from DA's perspective, so I give him that. But DA didn't condone that at all. You know, he didn't. However, we decided as a team to do it, and man, we got an interception to the 1 yard line. You know, like, so if we would have scored, would it still would have been disrespectful?
Jameis would never change. This explains why Jameis Winston is not in Tampa. This is why explains why Jameis Winston will never be what people wanted him to be because of this.
What?
The coach called victory formation. He said it was a team decision. What team? There was no defensive players on the field. The team is a team. So the team is just offense now?
No, I mean the offense that was on the field at the time.
That's not the team.
We want to get the touchdown for brother.
That's not what you
Jamal.
see. You see what happens when you go rogue? Now this explains why Baker Mayfield was basically able to take the same team that Jameis Winston has, same receivers, pretty much the same defense, Levante David, Devin White, Shaq Barrett, a lot of those same players, and make the playoff, and Jameis couldn't.
So I have a question. I
got an answer.
So you don't agree? You don't like the call that he made?
Had I been on that field when Jameis did that, I'd have jumped off sides on purpose and backed it up. Because there's a difference between winning. See, you see the mindset? That's why Jameis isn't a winner in the NFL. You have a winner's mindset. You have winners. You have losers. It's really simple. The coach said victory. We up 41-17. And because Jamal Williams hadn't had a touchdown, now you look, oh, he put his blood, sweat, and tears. So what about week 1? Week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So for 17 weeks, he ain't put no blood, sweat, and tears in it.
Sometimes your coach will call something. And the play come in, and the quarterback, you know what, y'all? I don't really like that. I'm going to improvise, and I'm going to do
That's
that.
the starting quarterback. That's Brady. That's Manning. That's Mahomes. That's Burrow. That's not a backup quarterback in a victory formation situation, Ocho, and you know it.
You see it as a bad thing. You see it as bad. I don't see it as a problem.
If I'm Dennis Allen and I'm the coach, there's no way Jameis Winston is in that locker room next season.
Damn, huh?
No way. And I don't want him on my team.
Are you serious?
No way. No way, no how. You can't win with that.
You overreacting a little bit now. Come on now.
That's the type of guy. You see? That's the type of guy that will get a small contingent that's weak-minded to follow him. That's why he can't win. You ask yourself, you don't think for 1 second like me and Jameis. Huh?
I don't like where you're going with this, baby. I love you to death, but I don't like where you're going with that.
All I know you just talking.
Jameis is he's a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback that hasn't been superior or great. He's a good quarterback that hasn't been superior or great.
You're not asking the questions. Ask yourself why. Why can't you make the playoffs with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin? Both guys make the Pro Bowl. When you got Levante David, you got Shaq Barrett, you got Devin White. Why can't you make the playoffs? Because you throw 33 touchdowns with 30 turnovers. That's why. I would not want Jameis Winston on my team. He has a loser's mentality. It ain't no what we decided. Who left you in charge? You a backup. Since when does a backup get to make effing rules? He took a knee. He said victory. That means we take a knee. Had I been in the game, I would have jumped off sides. I'm just telling you what I would have done. I'm not gonna listen.
Hey, you would have jumped off side for real?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, that's a good one. You know, what's funny is I didn't think you would feel that bad about this or feel the way you actually feel. And to hear you say something, to hear you saying some of the things you're saying, that's like, oh shit, Unc pissed. He don't like that shit. Like, no, I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter, and I looked. I said, oh man, that's really dope to get young Bull, you know, to get in that little touchdown or whatever it is that, you know, whatever the reasoning behind it is.
That man had 17 weeks to get a touchdown.
Yeah, hey, you know, the offense, the way the offense went, it just he wasn't able to get
it. So they have no goal to go situation. They have no first and goal from the one the whole year.
And then when I looked at it, right, when I looked at the tweets, when I looked at the comments, and I was like, oh man. And I said, the caption I put was, you know what, there's an unwritten rule in football now. You don't run the scoreboard up on your opponent. When you have the opportunity to kneel the ball or run the clock out, you do so. The whole chat, man, fuck so-and-so. It's the Falcons. We don't care nothing about them people. Run the scoreboard up. And the point of the game is to continue to score as many points as you can. And if you're on the field and playing defense, stop it.
Okay, so that was a strong reaction from Unc regarding Jameis Winston, and if we just look at his history, I have to agree with Shannon. Jameis has a long history of doing and saying some of the dumbest things, but that's one of the reasons why I think fans love him. He's just so honest and wears it on his sleeve. But with regards to Shannon's sake about Jameis Winston not being able to succeed in Tampa Bay, you just need to look at his history. This is the same city where Tom Brady won a Super Bowl and Baker Mayfield just took this team to the playoffs. Then you also have to think about why Dennis Allen brought in Derek Carr when they have you. On top of that, when you look at what happened at face value, how are you going to go against your head coach? Like, this wasn't a play where you were tweaking on whether to run or pass. This was a play where your head coach literally told you to go in victory formation, but you as a backup QB had the audacity to overrule that. And don't get me wrong, I love Jameis Winston because he's such a character, but when I looked at the comment section of my last video about the situation from yesterday, it was pretty much mixed, but mostly people were slightly more on the side of the QB. Now that could be a generational thing, I'm not sure, but the fact that the offense lined up in victory formation and then decided to run a real play, think about what would have happened if someone got injured. The other team isn't expecting anything to happen once you line up that way. So I guess if anything, if you were going to go against your coach, at least line up as if you're running a real play. That's all I have to say. In any event, I still love Jameis, but I think Shannon's harsh criticism of the QB is because he's a real old school, no-nonsense kind of player, which seems like a dying breed these days. Anyways, what do you all think about what Unc had to say about Jameis Winston? Fair or foul?
Well, I just think we were prepared. You know, one thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.